Afternoon, this is Jeff with Sewer Tech Northwest. Today we're at property address 210 Southwest 19th Avenue here in Canby. Located just to the right of the front doorway. 3-inch ABS cleanout will be our point of access. We're going to check the overall condition and serviceability of the sanitary sewer line. Water's running. We're going to zero out here at the base of the cleanout. Off we go. So I got a little question sent over to me in a text message about flushable wipes. In this case, I think it was dude wipes, or flushable wipes in general. I'll answer that here as we go. And we're transitioning here to 4-inch 3034 PVC pipe. So I've done almost 25,000 sewer scopes. I've done a lot of drain cleaning. Not a huge fan of flushable wipes. If you're going to use them, I don't recommend replacing your toilet paper altogether. If you are going to use them, I tell most folks, treat them kind of as your last wipe, and ideally you want to be flushing them separately from everything else, and ideally on their own. Looks like we're bumping out to 6-inch diameter pipe here. The tie-in at the top of the pipe there is your secondary cleanout. You'll see that right in the sidewalk, big steel cover plate over the top of it. Anyway, they're great for cleaning yourself up, your kids or whatnot. The downside is they don't disintegrate terribly easy. And what a lot of folks do is, especially if kids are involved, they wad a whole bunch of them up like they do with toilet paper. The big difference is, toilet paper doesn't disintegrate very well either when it's balled up. That's why you don't want to do that. When you take something as robust as a flushable wipe and do that, they really don't disintegrate. So when you get too many of them down the line, they clog pipes up very easily. Granted, they do function nicer on these newer plastic sewer lines that have nice smooth pipe walls. But anyway, that's my 2 cents on it. If you're going to use them as your last wipe, and I would flush them separately from everything else that's going down the line to help break things up. Gives them a better chance of making it through the line without stopping up anywhere, and it allows them to break down easier if they do. This is the main here. We're sitting just prior to the main connection. It's on this little bit of a turn here at the end of the line. I backed the camera up just a little bit just to get a better locate. So far, nice looking sewer line. We're going to let the line drain out here while we go locate, and we'll take a second look at everything. Alrighty. Line terminates straight out front here on Southwest 19th. By the time the line gets to the secondary cleanout, which is the big steel cover plate, it's almost perfectly in line with the first cleanout, right at the sidewalk. The line from that point is moving dead straight into the road. The line overall runs pretty darn straight. It does a little bit of a jog at first, but anyway. Between the two cleanouts, you can eyeball pretty nicely where the line runs. So far, nice looking line here. No construction debris in the pipe, which is really nice to see. Super common problem on new construction. This is the other very common location to have problems. In fact, you can see how you have a little bit of substance that went down the sidewalls there, those streak marks. This is where a lot of new construction gets screwed up. They don't put a cap on these dang secondary cleanouts, and then they dump concrete or rocks down the pipe when they go to do the sidewalks or driveways. It's a super common location to have problems. Alright, all the 4-inch and 6-inch 3034, that's the green PVC there, all of it looks great. Transition joints look good, drains off very nicely, no standing water, nothing. And some of these little kind of squiggly line things you see coming off these joints, those are just little bits of excess pipe glue is all that is there. No big deal. Go backwards. Everything from the clean out access to the main lateral connections in good shape, functioning very nicely. At this point, we are now back inside the crawl space. We'll run to the back here if we can. I normally don't scope a lot of interior pipe, but because of how common construction debris is in new construction, I try to get back in here if I can. That's the back end part of the line there where we start to go vertical. Great looking sewer line end to end. Spotless clean, 0 defects. That's what you'd think they would look like on a new construction line. Unfortunately, it is not the case. These are some of the scariest lines I look at, funny enough. About 1 in 4 will have something that needs to be dealt with. And it's usually something that'll cause a backup about the first day you live in the house, too. A lot of times it's construction debris related. But what gets down these things is not a kid's toothbrush. It's concrete, rebar, stuff that it does not move once it gets in there. Anyhow, you do not have that problem here. Very nice looking sewer line. It is functioning properly at this time.